Welcome, Rabbi Isai, to another Chazara Shiur on Mishnah Gimel and וסוגיא Tesvav. Very geschmack and interesting Sugya. Let's jump right in with a express Chazara Shiur just on the Havana. The Mishnah starts off with two options with the same din. Okay, so number one, Amar L'Shnayim. If someone tells two people, Gazalti le'achad mekamana, I stole from one of you a mana, but any of the isn't mekamana, I don't know who I stole from. Or another case, another option, second case. Or Avim shalachad mikam, a father of one of you, one of your fathers, either your father or your father, hifkid li mana, deposited by me money, a coin. The any of that is when I don't know who he is. What's the din in both of these cases? Zog the Mishnah, you give both of them a money, you pay off both of them. Why? Because he admitted by himself. And Rashi is going to, and Rashi explains, the Gemara is going to explain what exactly that means, why he needs to pay both, as we're going to get to later. Next case, the Mishnah, third case. Two people that deposited by one person. One gave one mana and one gave 200 zuz, which is equal to 2 mana. It's like imagine mana is $1 and zuz is cents. So one gave $1 and one gave 200 cents, which is $2. Okay, and then they say this one says I gave the 200. The other one says I gave the 200. And the next case, which they have the same achloikas, they have the same din and machloikas. The fourth case is to two vessels. For example, if one gave a Ferrari to watch, one gave a Toyota to watch. One is worth 1 mana, elef zuz, and one is worth 1,000 zuz. So the equivalent would be $1 and $10. This one says the nicer one is mine. This one says the nicer one is mine. What is the din? So the Tanakama says, well, in this case, give 100 to this one, 100 to this one, and the third 100, hold on to until you figure it out, or until the owner becomes. And in this case, give the Toyota to one of them, and part of the Ferrari, let's say the engine, equivalent, let's say the Toyota is worth $1,000, and so take the engine of the Ferrari, which is also worth $1,000, give the engine to this guy, and the rest of the Ferrari, hold on to until you figure it out, or until the owner becomes. Zak Rabbi Yaisi, 1 second, hey, if so, if you're going to, let's say in the case of the money, if you're going to give this one 100 and this one 100, one of them is lying, right? One of them, they're both saying, I gave you 200. One of them is lying. So if you give 100 to each one, what did the swindler lose? What did he lose out? Rather, what should you do? Let the shiner hold on to all 300 until you figure everything out. So that way, even the liar is losing. He's not getting his money. He's not gaining anything. So he's going to admit. And the same thing over here. Hold on to both cars until one of them admits. That is the end of the Mishnah. Now the Gemara discusses two principles, two rules that we may learn out from this Mishnah. So, and we have them actually as Yediyas Mukdamas. So let's go through these different Yediyas Mukdamas. Number one, Momon Hamutal B'Safek, money that's lying in a doubt. Okay? Any case of money that's lying in a doubt. For example, if let's say I borrowed money from someone, either from Reuben or from Yehuda. I don't know who I borrowed from. So now the money is lying in a doubt. Who do I need to pay it back to? Now, when we have money that's lying in a doubt, we have two options. Number one, uki mamayna b'cheskas money, or uki mamayna b'cheskasim. Set the money where it is establish it where it is right now. Leave it where it is. The other option is mistake hamafkidim mamona. Out of a suffix, we take out money. So, in the case that I gave before, the first option would be I'm going to hold onto the money until I find out if I owe it to Reuven or to Yehuda. That would be uki mamona. Set it where it is and let it sit there until we figure it out. Let it sit acheskas money on the chazak of its owner, of who's holding on to it now. I'm holding on to it. I'll continue holding on to it until we figure it out. That's the first option. Out of a suffix, we take out money. That means I would have to pay off Reuven and Yehuda. I take out money from my pocket and pay off everyone. That would be the second option of mistake mafkina mamayna. Zog the Gemara from the first case in our Mishnah of someone that tells two people, I stole from one of you a mana, and I don't know who I stole it from. What's the din? He needs to give this one a mana and this one a mana. Why? Because he admitted from himself. Zog the Gemara. From here we see the misfeika mafkid mamona. If we have a doubt, we take extra money out of pocket and we pay off everyone. For the Gemara, I'll ask you a contradiction. In the end of the Mishnah, we learned two people that deposited money by one. This one gave a mana and this one gave 2 mana. We don't know which one gave what. And then this one says Masayim Shali and this one says Masayim Shali. They both say, I gave the 200. Tanakama says that we don't take out more money to pay them back off. No, we say give this one 100, this one 100, and the third 100, let it sit. Let it wait until the owner becomes. So from here we see, not that we take out more money out of pocket, rather we say Uki Mamona b'cheskasem. Let the money sit where it is until we figure it out. So what's going on? And for the Gemara, you're asking a contradiction from Gezel on Pikadin. How can you ask us such a contradiction? There are two different things. Gezel, where he did an Aveira, the Rabbanan punished him, so he needs to pay both. He needs to take out more money. But over here, this guy didn't do any Aveira. He's watching money. He didn't do any Aveira. So therefore we say, let it sit where it is. So the Gemara says to that, okay, fine, good answer. But you know what? I'll ask you a contradiction from Pikadin to Pikadin and Gezel to Gezel. What's the contradiction from Pikadin to Pikadin? So we have the case that we just gave, right? Which we'll get back to in a moment. But then we have in the first case in the Mishnah, we have in the first part of the Mishnah, the first part, second case in the Mishnah, if two people, if someone comes over and says, one of your fathers gave to me a money to watch, and I don't know who gave it to me, then you need to pay both. Right? You need to pay both of them. So, but what do we see from here? In a case of watching money, in a case of Pikadin, we see, mistake of Mafkid and Mamona. Out of a suffix, we take out money. I'll ask you a contradiction. In the end of the Mishnah, we see over here, these two people are giving him money to watch, and we don't say take out money over a suffix, rather we say let it sit until the Navi comes. The money that's in a doubt, let it sit. And for the Gemara, there's a very big difference between this case and this case. What's the difference? Over here, and I'm going to incorporate what Rashi explains into the answer. Over here, one person gave him money. It's as if two people would have given him money individually, separately, with their own confidentiality, with their own privacy. So he has to know who gave him what. If you don't know who gave you what, then you got to pay both. You got to pay off both. Over here, however, they both gave it to him in front of each other. It's as if they gave it to him in one bundle. It's as if they gave it to him in one bundle. So he said, look, you guys are giving your amounts of money in front of each other, and you're not keeping your own privacy. You trust each other, so then why should I be more careful? Why should I be more specific? Why should I make sure to count how much you gave and how much you gave? Why should I be more careful than you? You guys trust each other, so I'll put it in one thing. I'll keep it together. You guys figure it out later. You trust each other. Why should I be careful? Why should I keep it separately? You're not keeping your own confidentiality. Why should I keep confidentiality for you? Over here, however, it's only one person that gave it to him. It's just like a case if two people would have given it to him separately, where you need to remember who gave you what. So again, in this case, two people didn't give, as Rashi explains, two people didn't give him money. Only one person gave him money. He says, one of your fathers gave me money. I don't know which one. But it's as if two people would have given money individually, separately, with their own privacy. So this guy, he must remember who gave him what. And now the Gemara continues on. And I'll ask you a contradiction from Gezel to Gezel. What's the contradiction from Gezel and Gezel? Well, we had in our Mishnah, the first case in our Mishnah, if someone tells two people, I stole from one of your money, I don't know who I stole it from. Right, so what's the din? They give both of them a money. Why? Because he admitted by himself. And we learned the Mishnah Masachas Yivamis. So what do we learn out from that? We learn out from that mistake of mafkid and mamona. From a suffix, we take out money out of pocket to pay everyone off. I'll ask you a contradiction. We learned the Mishnah Masachas Yivamis. If you stole from one of 5 people, and you don't know who he stole from, this one says you stole from me, and this one says you stole from me. And what's the din? You put the money in front of them, and you go away, this is the words of Rabbi Tarfon. So what do we see from here? We see from here that we don't say this guy is not paying off every person. He's not taking out more money out of pocket. Rather, what are we saying? Say establish the money where it is. Okay, so establish the money where it is. Don't take out more money, for sure not. Establish it where it is. And this case definitely sounds like that follows the rule of uki mamayna b'cheskasei. Establish it where it is, and let them figure it out. And for the Gemara, 1 second, and the Gemara asks for the question, 1 second, hey, how do you know that this is Rabbi Tarfon? Maybe our Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva. What does Rabbi Akiva hold? Rabbi Akiva actually holds Yishalom Zeh L'chol Echad Echad, as Rashi explains. Rashi adds this part. Rashi brings down this part. The Gemara asks, 1 second, how do you know this is how do you know this is Rabbi Tarfon? And Rashi adds, maybe it's not Rabbi Akiva. Rashi concludes the Gemara's question. Maybe our Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Akiva. That Rabbi Akiva holds that you actually pay each one. So maybe our Mishnah is like Rabbi Akiva. And for the Gemara, I'll tell you how I know our Mishnah is like Rabbi Tarfon. Because there's a braysa that says, Rabbi Tarfon admits in the same case as our Mishnah. Someone tells 2 people. I stole from one of you, and I don't know who I stole from. You give this one a money and this one a money. So we see clearly that Rabbi Tarfon himself admits that when you tell, right, a small difference between this Mishnah and this and this case and these 2 cases, that when you tell 2 people that I stole from one of you and I don't know who, you need to take out of pocket. So we see from Rabbi Tarfon himself, we see from this braysa that Rabbi Tarfon agrees with this Mishnah. So you can't say that this is Rabbi Akiva. So the Gemara answers, well, guess what? The difference between this Mishnah and this Mishnah is that over here, in this Mishnah, he's coming to Beis Din, and I'm going to explain this according to Rashi. He's coming to Beis Din and asking Beis Din, what can I do to do tshuva? To get my name clean from Shemayim. And Beis Din tell him, look, you stole from one of them, you don't know who. So if you really want that the person who you stole from should get paid back, then you got to pay back both of them. You can't just hold on to the money until you figure it out, because if you're going to hold on to the money, that means that the person who you stole from is not going to get his money back. You really want to do tshuva, you really want to get your name clean from Shemayim, pay back both of them. But over here, these 5 people are demanding from him. They're all screaming, you stole from me, you stole from me. So he turns to Beis Din and asks them, 1 second, what do I do? What should I do here? So Beis Din says, look, you only stole from one, right? And they all agree that you stole from one. And each one is claiming you stole it from me. So in such a case, just put one sum between them. We're not going to tell you pay out from everyone, because no one says that you need to pay $500. Let's say $500. No one says that. So pay one sum and leave it between them. Here he's coming to get checked off from Beis Din. And the Gemara ends off with a proof. Oh, you see, because the Mishnah says that he admits by himself. This proves to us that he's coming. If he's coming and admitting by himself, that proves to us that he's coming. He's coming to get checked off from Shemayim. And now the Gemara moves on and analyzes this Mishnah from Maseches Yevamos. But before that, we need one thing that we need to know is one rule: shtika kaina. If let's say you come over to someone and you say you stole my thing and he's quiet, Beis Din will recognize that as if he's admitting. Because if it's not true, if he never stole from you, then I'll say, what do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. If he's admitting, if he's being quiet, if he doesn't know what to answer, then it's true. Okay, that's what it means. Shtika kaida. Being silent is like admitting. Zog the Gemara, Omar Mar. Our master said, we learned, Hasam the Katavila. That in the case of the 5 people, in the Mishnah of the 5 people, these 5 people are demanding from him. Frag the Gemara 1 second. They're all saying, Frag the Gemara, what's this guy answering back? What's he claiming? And for the Gemara, Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rav that he's being quiet. Now, Masna Amarav, Rav Masna in the name of Rav says that he's actually screaming back. I don't know who you are. Now the Gemara analyzes their opinions. According to the man, the Amar that says that he's screaming, it's because he holds that if he would have been quiet, then he would have been admitting. So it must be a case that he's screaming. And according to the man that says that he was quiet, they hold that in general, yes, in general, shtika kaida, in general, being quiet is admitting. But over here, shtika dahacha, being quiet over here, lav kaidahu. It's not like admitting. Why? Because every one of these 5 people are saying you stole from me. He says maybe, I don't know. He was quiet because he can't object to them. He can't say no, it's for sure not you. He doesn't know. But it's not because he's admitting to each one. So the Mamar that says Halash Shaisef, that the other one is being quiet, is because over here being quiet is not admitting. Next part of the Gemara. Before we go on to the next part of the Gemara, we need to learn a very unique halacha. The halacha is Sfeik Hinuach. A doubt, maybe it was left there. Okay, well, for example, if you find a mitt and a bowl in the back of a bench in a dugout in the park, and you don't know, maybe the owners left it there intentionally, maybe they forgot it there, you don't know. So what's the criteria? What's the definition of Safek Hinuach? Number 1, there's no simon. And by the way, all this is from Rashi. Number 1, there's no simon. Number 2, it's in a place that's somewhat guarded. It's not like in the middle of the street, they for sure lost it, but it's somewhat guarded. The din is that you shouldn't go and take it. Okay, why shouldn't you take it? Maybe the owner is going to come back and look for it. Okay, but if you did take it, you shouldn't put it back. Why? Now, one second, you shouldn't give it to anyone until you should hold on to it until the owner will actually come and prove that it's his. The reason is because you don't want to put it back. Maybe someone else with bad intentions is going to come and take it and keep it for themselves. We don't want that. At the same time, since there's no simon, we're not going to give it to anyone that comes and claims it because maybe it's not really his. So we're going to hold on to it until the owner will actually bring witnesses that knows that he put it there, that he left it there intentionally. That is the din of Sfeik Hinuach. Now, back to our sugya, back to the Mishnah of the 5 people. Amar Master said that the din is Meniach Gzela Beinei Mistal. You put the money in between them, and you go away. Frag the Gemara 1 second. The Gemara asks like an inquiry, like a shaila. And all of them should take the money and go. They should all divide it. Frag the Gemara 1 second. Hey, we already learned Kol Sfeik Hinuach. Any doubt maybe was placed there intentionally. Initially, you shouldn't put it there. And if you took it, you shouldn't put it back. What do we learn out from it? And what's the connection to our case? Rashi explains. If you don't know whose it is, keep it until the owner can prove it. So also over here, the guy should hold it until one of these 5 people should prove that it's actually his. They actually stolen from him. Why are we dividing it between them? If we divide it between them, that means that the person who actually was stolen from is never going to get his money back. And so really he should hold on to it until we find out whose it is, not divide it. And for the Gemara, over here when it says Maniach Zela, means they should just put it. You shouldn't leave it over there. You should just place it in front of them. What does that do? Rashi explains. Meaning, he should not just go away from it and leave it over there. Rather, no. He should take the money and put it in front of Bezdin. When he puts it in front of Bezdin, he tells them, look, here you got this money. Figure it out. Figure out whose it is. And then, he should remove himself from the din. Say, now, I'm not getting involved in whose it is. You figure out whose it is. and then he continues to hold on to the money until you figure out whose money taka is. And with that we complete our sugya. Hope this helps. Mashiach now.